So in this next video, after we have created our initial application, let's go into the second phase, which is basically, come up with some kind of walking skeleton. So this means, we have some kind of system that we can interact with, that it's potentially deployed and so on and so forth, and that we see that the application is in a good state. For that, let's actually create our first GitHub issue. And first things first, there is a possibility within GitHub to create some kind of specific issue type. And I will just go ahead here and create this. So let me just first of all bring up my mechanism to show you my shortcuts here. So I will create a directory called .github, and there is another thing called issue template. So, and within this directory we can create a file which is just a regular file, which is we will call feature request.yaml. Yeah, we can add it to the GitHub, to the Git index. This is fine. And I have prepared here a little bit so I can show it to you a little bit easier. So this is just, a YAML file describing a mechanism on how to create a particular issue, and this we will use throughout our usage of the GitHub issues. So let me, for this one here, create a new commit, add issue template for feature request, and we can do that here, or alternatively we could also switch once again here to the terminal, and now it's already committed, so we can just do a git push. And now the next thing that we should see is if we go to our issues section. So first of all, you see the file here, issue templates, and if we go here and say new issue, we now have the possibility to say feature request, and this is what we would like to do. So the first issue that we are going to work on is, I called it create walking skeleton CI pipeline. And so here, let me just show you what I prepared. As a developer, I would like to have a CI pipeline so that I can be sure the application can compile and the tests are running. So this would be our first issue that we are going to work on. And so let's see how we can actually achieve that. So in order to have a CI pipeline, there are multiple ways on how to do that. There are like very different vendors, and all of them have their pros and cons. For now, as a first step, I will just continue to stay in this GitHub mechanism, since GitHub offers a free mechanism for a CI pipeline. And in order to do that, what we can do here is create a new directory, which is called workflows. And this directory can contain, once again, a YAML file, which is called according to the action that it should do. So in this case, we could, call it CI pipeline. And so here we basically define on how to create like the CI pipeline, and it's also described in YAML. I have prepared that here a little bit for you so that it's not super boring. So basically, you give, first of all, you give it a name, and then you say when does this pipeline should be triggered. In our case, it will be on the pull request, but also on the main branch. And then the next thing that should happen is that first of all, we would like to check out our changes from the repository. Then we would like to set up JDK 1.8, so this we can actually change to 17 since we are running this application under Java version 17. And then next thing is that we run our test. This will happen through the Gradle W command, and the action is test. Then afterwards we will publish the test reports. So you can find the test reports in the build directory here, and then there's this particular XML file. So this should actually already do the job. So let's take a look. We have now a new CI pipeline. I will just commit that, and well, actually, what we can do is to create a branch for each issue that we have, so that we have, like a proper association between a pull request and an issue. All right, so then what we are going to do now is here create feature /1, and the one is, let's go back here, create walking skeleton CI pipeline. And now create So what we are going to do here is to create a GitHub Actions based CI pipeline. So what I can do now with this GitHub CLI once again is to create a pull request, and it asks me about which where we want to push that. In this case, it's just the regular repository of mine, and yeah, you can give it a title. Yeah, this is fine for now, and body we don't need right now. And now we have yeah, just created our new GitHub issue. I'm sorry, not the GitHub issue, but the actual pull request for it. And so here you can see now the file that we just created, and since this is fine, we can probably just merge them. Unfortunately, right now we don't have CI pipeline in place to already test that, so we can't wait for the test to pass. Okay, so here I will now go ahead and merge that. And so when we now go to our main branch, then you can see that there's a small icon here which already indicates that there's a GitHub action running. So we can go here and see the details. And what happens is now that the GitHub CI pipeline now goes ahead and tries to performs the action that we ask it to. So once this is done, we either see that the pipeline is passing or not, and depending on that, we get immediate feedback to our overall application. So this is not directly tied to Jmix itself, but at least it helps us to have a clean and proper setup right from the get-go. And yeah, it probably takes a little while to actually run the tests. I mean, we can also go ahead and here take a look at what tests we currently have. So by default, Jmix creates an empty Spring integration test, which is annotated here with Spring Boot test. So it actually will spin up the Spring context, and it will try to see if the application at all is capable of starting up. So right now we see tests are passing here locally. Let's see how it looks in the CI system. Already we see here, okay, everything is fine. One test run, there were no problems. Okay, and with that we can basically go ahead and say, yeah, we achieved our goal, and from now on we will see in our pull requests, but also in our, just in the main branch, if something is wrong, and we will see that immediately. So with that, I close it. And we see us in the next video.